Wrong scene. What's going on, everyone? I'm Paul Sabo, and this is twitch.tv/LordxHam sitting next to me, and this is Punk with a Controller. We normally go live at Fridays in the evening where we record a podcast, but I was very tired and I had some other later evening plans. Jay over here didn't get off work until a lot later than he planned, so we ended up rescheduling to today, which, by the way, coincidentally, I hate Facebook memories. I hate those things. I tend to delete about 99% of them every time I get them, whenever I do. And because they're all just so cringy. And I got one today that I did not delete. I actually shared. Jay, today is my anniversary, my 1 year anniversary of streaming.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
It's been 1 year.
congratulations, dude. I know you can't hear it, but I'm gonna get air horn going.
It's been I mean, I can't, like, is there a way that I could, like, do an emote without it saying, like, without a test emote, without just the fake? Fuck it.
Yeah. Emotes in chat.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's been a fun time. It's been that fall was a bit rougher for me because I was coming off the head injury and I wasn't really feeling too well. But we've been spry and back at it, and later today after this stream, I am going to start a full playthrough of Halo. It's a series I've never played before. I've dabbled in multiplayer, like going over to my friend's house, like, dabbling in, like, split screen, just like, like TDM or some shit, but I never really got into Halo. And with all this Halo buzz for Halo Infinite, I'm thinking now's the time. So I got all of the games downloaded, installed. I got the Master Chief Collection installed on my PC. So I'm going to hop into that right after this stream. And then right after that, I was thinking that's not enough. So right after Halo, I'm doing all of Metal Gear, baby. I'm doing all of Metal Gear Solid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm thinking throwing Peace Walker in there.
Is this after Halo or this is tonight?
This is after Halo. Once I'm done streaming Halo, so yeah. Probably in the next month or so I'll start Metal Gear. I'm hoping to, because I do plan on picking up the streaming a lot lately. So I plan on having Halo completed by this month. So look around for that. I might upload those to our YouTube. I only upload one episode a week. I know YouTube's algorithm hates, low uploads. So I'm thinking about, just cracking up those and uploading those.
I found out today that, pretty sure it's legitimate, almost 100%, that you can get on YouTube Shorts bonuses. So for YouTube Shorts, and you don't have to be a YouTube partner because of the way they do the ad revenue with them. And like apparently you could get like $10,000 to $10,000 depending on how many views are on like a short. But
you would need a lot of. I've looked at YouTube numbers. You got to have a lot of views to get that kind of money.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what was I gonna say? But you can't have like a watermark, so it can't just be like your TikTok thrown onto YouTube or anything like that. So.
Hell yeah. But yeah, so look forward to that. We're going to be streaming a lot more around here at Punk with a Controller. Like I said, we normally record this podcast on Fridays, but we moved it to today, and we normally upload the podcast today on Sundays to the YouTube channel. So this is going to be pushed to Tuesday, the upload, I want to say. So, follow us on all social media. You'll stay updated on that. But Jay, Mr. Lord himself, LordxHam. LordxHam. I always throw the X in there. I know it's there for
gamer aesthetic.
Yeah, for the aesthetic, but I'm old.
It's okay. Everyone always says, "Oh," like especially British dudes. They're like, "Oh, hi, LordxHam."
Yeah. But what'd you play? What'd you watch? What'd you do this week? How was your week in general?
Week was actually really good. I just had like a good mindset. Got some IRL shit taken care of. Well, not. It's all on them now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got some gaming in this week. Let's see, a week ago over the weekend we played some Valheim together.
Took
and that
on the
was pretty
bone
fun.
mass.
Yeah, we got the bone mass and figured out the strat for that, and
Yeah,
then
tip Frostnir. Frostmere near
Frostner.
Frostner. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. I mean, I lost like a lot of like I came close to dying there at one point because I kind of got caught up in how close to he was dying after I was done with him. Like, you were shooting him with your fucking badass arrows from afar, and I just ran in Thor style with that hammer. And yeah, within that first attack, he was down to just having like a third of his health left. It was, or a
The only
fourth
thing
even.
is, in the way you're supposed to play the game, you don't get Frostner until after bone mass. So, but if you're farming bone mass,
There you
there
go.
you go. And what else did I play? Played some BF4, just to burn some time. Still fun as ever. And then I checked out a game. Here, I'll get to that one last, because that one's pretty cool. I need to describe it because it's a really different game. Played some Valhalla because I'm trying to beat it finally on like the last area. Had to get to level like 350 or whatever it was, like armor level.
I think that was the area I was telling you about when you first initially started your whole trek in Valhalla. I was just like, isn't there this one like area of the map where you got to like do some serious
Well, all right,
grinding
here's
to
the
get
thing.
to?
I'm like 280, and where I am, it says I'm good. There's a kingdom, Winchester, like Wessex, in the middle. So it's like that's like 250 cap, but then completely surrounding it is 350 cap. So you kind of got to get on your mount and go. But yeah, I'm at that point. Been trying to like build my armor set how I want it.
Do you know how many
I
hours you have in that game yet?
76.
God, that's absurd. That's
Yeah,
insane.
I know, I
You're
know,
pushing JRPG hours.
I know. I probably put about 20 hours into Divinity in the past week.
Oh shit.
Always, yeah. I got back on my playthrough. I get back in after months of not playing, and I got so many quests, and I forgot what was going on. So it took me a couple days to like get my brain caught up to speed with the game like that. But now I'm pushing through. Played some Zero Hour. I played a lot of games this week, dude. I played Zero Hour on stream yesterday. That was a load of fun. I dogged on some dudes all day. Um, and then I played this game called Thunder Tier 1.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Um, a buddy of mine was like, "Yo, you should check out this game. You can apply in the play test on Steam." So I did, and they gave me a copy. And you can go peep the VOD later or whoever's watching on my Twitch channel. But it's like top down and you control with WASD. But I'm trying to think of what kind of game it's like.
It looks I'm I mean it kind of looks like XCOM minus the turn-based shooting.
It's not turn-based, it's completely tactical and like but you only see enemies when they're in your line of sight.
Helldivers. I don't know if you were familiar with that. It kind of looks
No.
like yeah, look up Helldivers. It kind of looks like a more grounded, militarized version of that. But yeah, Helldivers was like you were these space marines that were dropped on an alien planet and you were like fighting shit. It had like, same top-down type of gameplay, and it was super hard because it was super tactical. Like in the sense of you got an assault rifle, you're shooting it, you got a 30 round mag, you got 2 rounds left in the mag. If you take out the mag and you throw it and reload, you just threw out 2 rounds. Like you got to
Yeah, that's
use
how this is. Like it's like kind of like Tarkov. It has like kind of like an inventory system too. And you can like subdue enemies and like arrest them and like take their guns or whatever, but like there is missions and then they have a PvP mode they tested out which was really fun. It's really hard because you can only see what's in your cone of vision and that's independent to you. Like I could see a guy before my buddy Smith saw a guy. And it was getting super tactical to where we were like shooting out lights and stuff. Then when you go inside, it's completely top down. Yeah, there you go.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh damn. Oh shit.
Yeah.
How does it feel to play to control? I know on controller.
Um.
I know these dual is it dual stick or God it's you're playing with keyboard so yeah I'm used to like this like on a console this would be like a dual stick shooter. Um, Whereas looking on this I've never really played one of these games now that I think about it on PC. Um, so it's kind of like any type of gameplay I usually play like this on PCs like a CRPG where it's turn based. Or there's just really not that much combat in general.
I wish you could see a little further because like you could see enemies as far as like they're in your cone of vision, but you can't because the screen doesn't move that much farther past. So you can't zoom out enough.
Okay.
Like I wish you know how in Divinity you can kind of float ahead.
Yeah, yeah, zoom in and zoom out.
I wish they would do that, like so you can have a better, not necessarily like it doesn't give you a buff or anything like that. It just lets you see more to get
Yeah,
more
it'd be cool if there
situational
was
awareness.
like a binoculars option where you like, you straight up just go into first person, you look at everything straight ahead of you or something.
Yeah, I mean, like they had some screenshots of it first person as well. I don't know where that went, but all in all, it was a pretty fun game. I think the play session's closed now. But
Oh, was it
I'm
just
gonna
a
play it
beta?
again. Yeah, they've been like opening up and doing like little play sessions or something. I don't know. I liked it a lot. I had a lot of fun. It was very tactical, very in depth. But what about you, Ming?
Hell yeah, I played a beta myself too this weekend, but I'll get into that in a moment here. Monday I played more Crisis Remastered. I think I'm done with it. I think I got the gist of, the game. I mainly just wanted to, see how my PC could run it and see how it ran in general.
They get
And
monotonous and boring.
it got more so repetitive. Like, you walk up to this camp, kill these guys, walk up to this camp, kill these guys, walk up to this camp, kill these guys. Then, there wasn't really much more to it. The story was cool. The voice acting was all right, but I just wasn't I wasn't as invested as I wanted to be. I started slowing down on Ozark. I just didn't really have as much time as I wanted to watch any this week. Ted Lasso, season 2, episode 3, get some great Roy Kent moments. Um, I'm just not even gonna just jump right over that. If you're not watching Ted Lasso, you're a loser. Honestly, like I kind of want to pitch the question like, is Ted Lasso the new Rick and Morty? I mean, like obviously, like they're completely different shows, but I want to say within the last like 5 or 6 years, like the three big shows that come to my mind that like a lot of people in like all generations is like, have you seen this? Have you watched this? Have you talked about this? Is Rick and Morty, Ted Lasso, and fucking Tiger King. Um, like those three things, like they took the world by storm. Remember how there was like 5 movies going to be made about Tiger King? What happened to literally any of those? I know Nick
I don't know.
Cage walked out on his with
The
Amazon.
second season's coming out later this year.
There's a wait, what?
About that other dude that took over the park. He
Oh,
fucked up
Jesus
and
Christ.
yeah,
um,
Rob Lowe or
uh,
whatever that fucker's name is.
yeah, you think they would have learned. But yeah, no, I mean Ted Lasso is like everyone is talking about this show and everyone is loving this show. So yeah,
I've
no,
never heard of it until you. So
it's amazing. That's fucking wild. That's actually crazy. That might disprove my point. And then I got 2 things here. I'm deciding which one. All right, I'll just go Suicide Squad. Watch Suicide Squad. Jay, I know you're not, a big
do I have
screen.
to watch any of the other
You do
ones?
not. You do not. You do not. There's
So I
like,
can go on HBO Max and watch it
yes,
tonight and be
yes.
entertained.
The one thing or like what they're kind or what James Gunn kind of set up with the Suicide Squad DC lore wise, I actually think is kind of cool. I mean, it might not sound cool, when I say it, but to me, I think it's cool. In the MCU, if they make any kind of reference to anything in the past or any of these characters' histories, we know. It's more so going to be like, just like a little wink and a nod, like, to the, the viewer, like being like, like, yeah, you remember that from Civil War. You remember that from the original, Iron Man. It's stuff like that where like you get some backstory. I'm not going to spoil anything, but you get like some backstory on some of the characters or like some of, the people in Suicide Squad that really like it more so sets up lore where like you hear stories about what they did and like it kind of make it's left to your imagination like how it went. Like you're never going to find out how or why or when X did this to Y, but that doesn't matter. What he did, and that whole little story, that one sentence story, is just so fucking cool. So I feel like if they do more of that and then they just, keep building kind of Game of Thrones status, where like, like they talk about the past, you never see or hear about it, but like, it's just left to your imagination, your interpretation, and just build off that. And like all in all, Suicide Squad is a really simple story. I feel it's about bad people doing bad things for the right reasons. And James Gunn has proven to be a master at working with like characters and groups of people. And I'm just so happy that Disney fired him so Warner Brothers could hire him for this. And then Disney just hired him back for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So yeah, no, you don't need to know anything really about like there's like Harley Quinn has like a couple like winks and nods to like Birds of Prey, and honestly that's it. Like they don't entirely retcon the first Suicide Squad movie, but they do their best. They do their best at like just not even acknowledging it at all. um so yeah, there's like there's no talks of what happened in the Justice League, or Aquaman and Batman don't show up. There's none of that shit. It is like all in all, like if you I remember we reacted to the first trailer. That's probably one of our first episodes looking back. They set it up like it was going to be like this big, huge, massive grandeur story, but it was actually really simple and really like just like straight to the point, very linear, not really branching off too much except for a couple points where they branch off quite a bit. So yeah, I highly recommend watching that. Like I said, you don't need to watch anything else. I think you would really like it. I think you would find John Cena hilarious. Like, dude, the first time you see him, I was in like you just see him, and I was in fucking tears laughing. Um, and then I just wanted to shout this one out if there's any Val Kilmer fans out there. There's that Val documentary out on Amazon. Horribly depressing. Like just like, word of warning. I fell asleep during it because I was just fucking exhausted, and my brother turned it off like halfway through because he's just like, dude, it was just fucking bumming me out. Like it was just really sad. So yeah, if you're interested in that, if you're a Val Kilmer fan, go check that out. And then finally, I played about 6-ish hours. Thursday I played for like 6.5-ish, 7 hours. Thursday I played for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And then yesterday I played for about 4.5 hours of Back for Blood. That closed beta. I got a beta code for that. It was pretty damn easy. And essentially, I'm pretty sure yesterday they were straight up just handing them out on the Back for Blood website. So if you're still interested, you can maybe go and snag one right now. It's I have okay. It's very gunplay, gameplay wise, it feels very good. It's very fun when you're playing with people you know. I had one instance in particular where this rando online who joined our party was he was infuriating me, like really. Um and and I couldn't kick him. I was the party leader and I was spamming kick and it just wouldn't kick him. So I don't know if that was like a broken feature or something, but I don't know. Gunplay feels really good. Gameplay feels really good. The card system, what they're doing with that is really interesting. Like you got a character, he's got his base perks, and then when you start an act consists of like I don't know 8 missions. There's probably about 2 or 3 of those missions are straight up just gauntlets. Just, an explosion happens and you're getting chased by a horde and you have to run from point A to point B, and it's just super epic. But other than that, it's, there's straight up Left 4 Dead style missions. And every time you start one of those, there's this card system where you can add some cards that give you perks. Like there's 20% increased reload speed, 10% increased stamina, 5 points to your health, 5 points, 10% ammo. There's just a bunch of small buffs like that. But each time you start one of these missions, you can choose one of those cards again. So you're stacking those over and over again. And then you get these supply points to where you can buy new cards, and then you can add those, and you're basically just building out, your best character throughout each level. Excuse me. There are these corrupted cards that are really, really cool, where they essentially, you'll get one benefit. Like if you make it through this whole mission without any of your teammates going down, you'll each get 500 copper. And I'll get into that in a second. But then you'll get a corrupted card where it's just like the entire map is going to be covered in fog. And it is like you can't see your hand in front of your face. Like it is dense fog. And it genuinely changes up the whole gameplay. Like we go from all walking, just in a straight line, gunning everyone down, sprinting around, just doing whatever we want, to we are now all crouched, slowly sleeking through, because anything you see, you pop. If there's an option to get a silencer, you pop that on the gun, because when you get to a safe room, there's a shop where it has randomized perks and weapons. It always has like the same explosives and health and stuff like that, because that doesn't change. But yeah, you can, you'll pick up random guns in the wild. You can swap out the different attachments to them at the store. You can't do it on the fly, which is really annoying. I don't know if that's just a beta thing, but like, say I got, a legendary muzzle brake on my carbine, and I see a Scar that's, got way better stats than the carbine I'm using, and it's got okay attachments, but my attachments are way better. You can't you can't swap attachments between guns. If my buddy wants a silencer, if we need to go silent, I can't drop a silencer for him. You can't like carry spare or anything like that. So that's a little annoying. It's really big. Like I said, it's just the first act, and the first act was 8 missions. I'm curious how many acts there are going to be. If there's 4 acts, that's going to be, was that 32 missions? So the idea of them going from, Left 4 Dead, how they just had those 4 maps that you just replay over and over and over again. And you could mod and create maps in the Left 4 Dead series. So that's what really continued and carried that game's player base. But there's none of that in Back 4 Blood. So I don't know if maybe the massive amount of levels is what they're hoping is going to account for the idea that you can't create your own maps and there's no map modding. But I think that's my first major concern, is the fact that, you can't mod maps. Another concern is the monetization for the game. They're going down. Turtle Rock has a real bad history with monetization going back to Evolve, because that game heavily relied on monetization, and that game came out right at the peak of it with loot boxes and shit like that, and just paid DLC. And they're gonna have that again in this game. They're gonna have, battle passes and characters that you can buy and maps that you can buy. And the way that they're trying to counteract that is, if you're playing with someone who has the DLC, then you have access to all that stuff. But it's just so dated to have to buy maps and characters. I feel like unless it's like Fortnite, where like I'm buying The Rock and like Superman, to where like I'm essentially paying for them buying the license for Superman. If I'm just paying for Trevor and Ricky, just these random guys, And that's the other thing is, Turtle Rock has been assuring that, there's not going to be any pay to win. Like, these characters aren't going to be any better than the characters that are already in the game. And the first thought that popped in my head was one, bullshit. You said the same thing about Evolve, and that was the exact opposite of Evolve. I can't remember the name of the character, Leviathan, or I can't remember. He was so fucking OP, and if you bought him, you could basically carry an entire team. So yeah, that's bullshit. And then also, why? Why would I want to just pay to be this random dude? Like, if he doesn't come with any bonuses, anything that makes him any better than these other characters, why would I buy him?
Well,
Eh,
that's the same thing as like people spend thousands of dollars on CS:GO skins. So
yeah, I know, I get it, and it's same thing with Rainbow Six. So they might be trying to go with something like that, but those characters bring something to the table. They're saying it's gonna just be cosmetic, whereas I don't know. I know two Rainbow Six characters, Tachanka and Sledge. But those two guys are completely different from each other. They have completely different skills. And if you
yeah,
could just,
but they're free.
yeah, well, yeah, no, I'm just saying. Just an example of two characters. But yeah, no, and yeah, they were free. And Overwatch characters are free. Call of Duty and Battlefield, their map packs have been free for years. It's just what they're doing is really outdated. They're doing this continuous online where you have to always be online. You can play solo with bots only, but you have to be online and connected online. And honestly, that's what killed Evolve, because after 18 months, Evolve was, I think that was when they announced the servers. Like at like a little over a year, that's when they announced that they were done with servers, or they were done updating the game. And then in 2018, that's when they shut down the servers, and you can't even play the game anymore. You can still buy it though. Thank God, you could buy a game that is not playable. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of just rambling here. I'm gonna wait and see. Because it is really fun. The gameplay is really good, and when you have like one of your friends there or a couple of your friends there, cooperating through those maps and working your way through those situations is really dope.
Hey,
But
listen, are we really gonna care about Back for Blood once Battlefield rolls around?
that's going to be the topic of our show here, but we'll get into that a little later. But Jay, we initially only had 4 stories, but thanks to Andy Robinson over at VGC, who fucking kills it, we got one more story. So we got 5 stories here. The first story is I don't really know what to say here. I'm just gonna, I mean, I don't. Is there anything we really have more to say? I mean, J. Allen Brack's short, tumultuous run in charge of Blizzard is finally over. He stepped down, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. He announced that he was stepping down from Blizzard, and he was, leaving the company. I think it's a good start getting him out of there. I mean, he literally brought nothing to the fucking table. Blizzard has been on a slow decline ever since he took charge. He took charge shortly after Overwatch launched, so he can't even claim, credibility for that. He launched the Warhammer 3 Reforged, which was horribly received. He launched that Diablo mobile game where people were like, "Are you serious?" And then his response to the crowd was, "What? Don't you guys have phones?" He shitty boss and shitty person. So he stepped down. Good riddance. I mean, I just hope that we see more fall. I want to see Fran Townsend leave more than probably anyone at that company. And the chances of Bobby Kotick leaving are none. I know so many people have been calling for him to step down and leave the company, or for, the board to remove him. But a lot of people know Bobby Kotick for his numbers, but they don't know him for his numbers, if that makes sense. Like, they know Bobby Kotick for making, a salary of fucking $150 million a year, and then gets $300 million bonus checks while Activision Blizzard lays off 3,000 people. When, if he would have cut, some of that money from his bonus to those divisions, they might have not had to close. They could have worked their way around. Those aren't the numbers I'm talking about. Those are the numbers why I fucking hate Bobby Kotick and I think he should totally be removed. But the numbers why the board won't remove him is because Bobby Kotick's been with Activision for 40 years. He's the reason why Activision is still around today. They were dying in the 80s and they were about to go under, and he was the one who saved them. He has, I'm not trying to I'm not praising Bobby Kotick at all, but he's successfully put out Call of Duties every year since, actually, Jay, a little trivia question. When was the last year a Call of Duty did not come out annually? Like, when was the last time Call of Duty skipped a year?
They skipped a year?
All right, yeah, there you go. Yeah, in 2004. 2003 was when Call of Duty launched. 2004, they skipped the year, and then 2005 is when Call of Duty 2 came out. Yeah.
No, those games were good back then, though. So.
Well, I'm good or not, they are sales beasts. They triumph numbers. They are, they're the top selling games for the next 6 months after they come out, basically until the next game gets announced. So and those are the numbers, unfortunately, that the board is looking at. Those are the numbers that, unfortunately, the shareholders are looking at. They're bringing in them profits. He is bringing them in billions of dollars. He is the reason why they are one of the most profitable publishers in video games. So they're not going to remove him. The biggest hope that we could get is that he gets, some kind of shit. Like, hey, Bobby, you're not getting any bonus this next quarter. After this fucking lawsuit and after all this, that would be cool. That would be a nice step after removing Fran and after removing some of these other people. By the way, I think I have it in my notes here. Yeah, the HR from that infamous Bill Cosby sweet photo. He is also, he's also left the company. So yeah, as some stuff is happening, we'll see where this goes. Some has been done. A lot more needs to happen. I'll keep bringing it up. I'll keep updating it. I said this at the beginning, and I want to continue to update everyone on that situation because it is a really fucked up situation over there. Wrong tab. Story number 2. Let's see here. Gamescom. Yes, thank God. I was happy that I had this up here as number 2 because I wanted to follow that up with some great news. You know me, you know P, you know twitch.tv/punk with a controller. You know I love my live reactions. I love reacting to these conventions. I love watching all of these press conferences with you, all of these showcases. And over at Eurogamer, I'm reading that they are announcing that Gamescom opening night live is officially happening. It's going to be hosted by Jeff Keighley, and I'm just going to read the article. Game shows might be lacking some of their old-time bombast since the pandemic forced a shift to digital-only presentations, but there's no denying the continuing thrill of a flashy announcement show. That's why I love them. And we now have firm details on the next biggie as Jeff Keighley prepares his Keighley mobile and readies to ride out for Gamescom's 2021 opening night live. This year's opening night live marks the 3rd annual outing for the show since the debut back in 2019. The second time it'll be taking place of the form of digital only. It'll be held on Wednesday, the 25th, August. God, I hate Europe. August, Wednesday, 25th, slightly later than previously announced. Was at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So that's that's 1 p.m. Pacific? No, that's 4. Are they 3 or 4 hours behind us? Do you know?
3.
3? All right, so that's 1 p.m. Oh, wait, no, it says right there. 2 p.m. Okay, whatever. That works for me. So yeah, Wednesday, August 25th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us. Well, me. I don't know if Jay'll... Yeah, you got work. So join me over here at twitch.tv/punk with a controller. Well, we will be live reacting to this 2-hour event. That's fucking wild. That's insane.
What do you
And
think's going to be there?
whew, whew. Well, actually, just I got to mark this down in the calendar. That following episode, we are going to do our E3 recap. Because if you've been here for a while, if you've seen any of this, we did some E3 predictions back in the day. And normally E3 predictions are just for E3, but since COVID, there's just been this summer games fest thing where just there are these showcases happening throughout the whole fucking summer basically. EA or E3 happened early June, and then in July, did Sony had one somewhere in there, right? Yeah, Sony had one
Hmm.
for Deathloop. July there was the one for EA and Annapurna Interactive, and there's these rumors of a September one for Sony. So yeah, opening night live is going to be kind of the closer for all of that. So yeah, we're going to go back and look at our predictions and see which ones of them came right. And I am not feeling Jay. I'm pretty sure you won after E3. Like all of my predictions just came so wrong. I'm hoping for something big here, but what could I want? I don't
SoCal.
know. I think there the rumors of Kojima with Microsoft have been so heavy, and I could see that being here because it's, Jeff Keighley and they're super tight, but he's known for showing stuff off at the Game Awards. So I think that one's more likely. Um I don't maybe just like a bunch of follow-ups on stuff. Like there's that what's that Xbox vampire game? Um
Oh, that poopy one.
And then there's that Avalanche game for Xbox that we haven't seen anything for. Sony's shown that they're just going to do their own thing. They're kind of like Nintendo, where they're just like, we're going to have our own presence. So I'm predicting strictly third party. I have no idea. We still have no idea about Call of Duty. And actually, like thinking about it before we get on to the next story, do you think there's like any chance that Call of Duty doesn't come out this year? Because we still don't even have a title for the next Call of Duty. We haven't seen anything. Like
Maybe they're going to do the exact opposite of hyping it up and just showing it.
I mean, I feel like that's almost like kind of what they have to do. Like a month out from launch, just start promoting the hell out of it because you want to get as far away from this lawsuit as possible, but also you can only get so far because, in 2-3 months, that's when Call of Duty launches. So yeah, they
Oh,
huh?
I said, I don't know. They're going to need a way to pay that lawsuit off.
Yeah, and I don't know. I we'll get into Call of Duty later with our closing topic, but I'm not concerned because fuck Activision as of late, and until they do anything differently, we're not going to support them. But I'm curious what they're doing with the game. That's what we do here is we talk about new stuff in the games industry. So I am curious, but other than that, I don't know where that one's gonna go. So we'll see. But because if they were to announce it at this place at August 25th, that'd be ridiculous. That'd be so late for a Call of Duty. I don't know. Story number 3. Have you seen this?
Oh, yeah, babe. Yeah.
This is over at
Tell me,
Hollywood
joke.
Reporter. South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone sign a $900 million Viacom CBS deal. 14 movies planned for Paramount Plus. They're going through season 30, which is going to take them to August, or no, not August, take them to 2027 is what I think it says. And they are also going to be developing a new game.
Which, by the way, are some of my favorite video games ever.
Which one did you like more, Stick of Truth or The Fractured Butthole?
Stick of Truth.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank God. Because personally, I couldn't even finish Fractured Butthole because Stick of Truth was like so much better. Like don't get me wrong, like I liked the gameplay of 2 a lot more, like those tactics, how you were on the grid board. like Final Fantasy Tactics style, but the original, just everything else, everything felt so much better. If I remember correctly, there wasn't like a gear and or equipment system, like, or a loot system kind of in the second one. Whereas I remember, going up to the pawn shop and trading in all my shit for money at in the first game, and there was like collectibles they weren't able to really keep up with. So yeah, I'm curious what they're gonna do with this new game. I don't know who they're gonna have do it. I hope they have. It'd be awesome if Obsidian did it again, because yeah, that's why the first South Park was so good. It was because Obsidian did it.
Yeah, it
Um,
was actually a really solid RPG, and the thing I liked about it was with the technology now, you literally just felt like you were controlling an episode of the show.
yeah, and like with the tech, that was like the really, like, for me, kind of strange thing with why it took them so long to get the sequel out, because I don't know if you remember that, but that game was delayed a few times. And that game might have switched developers midway through. Um, I didn't know why, because, like, people always say, people who don't know anything, they're always like, oh, just, it's the same engine, just like, you got all the assets made, just like, transfer the assets. So it's like, it's not that easy. Whereas, like, I feel like you could use that expression or that terminology with this game specifically, because this, like, if I was to download the Fractured Butthole or Stick of Truth on my PS5 or on my PC right now, it doesn't matter what frames it's running at. Sure, I'd like it to be at 1440p. Actually, now that I think about it, I would almost want it to be at a lower frame rate, because I would want it to match the show more, right? Like, I feel like watching South Park at like a 144 would be fucking weird.
I don't know, I played it on the Switch. It was
Oh
the
yeah, no,
first game
see,
I got for the Switch, and it was amazing.
yeah, for
I
sure.
remember the power went out for like a day and a half, and I had my Switch charged up, and I just sat in my chair and played that.
Fuck yeah. The bigger question I have about this one is 14 movies?
Yeah, I bet there'll be mini movies, like
Like,
45 minutes long.
my whole thing is
They're probably gonna
14
spoof the
movies.
Marvel
Well,
movies.
that's my whole thing, is like 14 movies, that's half the MCU. So if we don't get a full-fledged 90 minutes uncut, like, I want traditional to a T. I want a Terrence and Phillip the movie. I think they owe it to us. But no, this is unbelievable, because I was starting to think that they were maybe starting to get tired out.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but it's obviously the most relevant and best animated show out there. It stood the test of time.
For sure. Yeah, it was canceled, came back. It might have been canceled a couple times now that I think about it. But yeah, I mean, look out for that. We'll see where they take this. I'm curious. They clearly have a lot more on their mind. I just want them to do something else. Have you seen Sassy Justice?
No,
Have you heard of Sassy Justice?
no.
So they did it at the start of the pandemic, and there's only one episode, I think. But it's just a deep fake. It's just a deep fake internet show.
President's son-in-law, after a word from our sponsor.
Have you ever contemplated suicide? Do these thoughts keep you from enjoying?
We might get
everyday
struck for
life?
this. I'm not sure, but it's
Then
worth it.
come on down to Cheyenne Dialysis. There's no way you can outrun these dialysis deals. Early bird dialysis, just $79,000 before 9 a.m. Tuesday and Thursday lunchtime dialysis. I'll do two of you old farts for the price of one. Gobble up our Thanksgiving special. $60,000 a kidney all Thanksgiving week. Do you want to feel young and full of energy like a hot girl? Then stop being a bitchy old grandma and come get dialysis today. And remember, don't get it from anyone but the dialysis king.
On the corner of Laramie and Fairfax, right next to Applebee's in downtown Cheyenne.
But yeah, with Fred Sassy. It's the dude at the beginning. And it's just Trump.
I speak with
It's like it's seriously like when you after we record this, you should seriously check it out. It's like 15 minutes long and it's so fucking funny. But like I wanted them to do more of that. Lean more into that. But I don't know. It looks like we're just getting another 20 years of South Park. What are we on to here now? Story number 5? Oh wait, no, we got one more here. Yeah. So if you are in the market for a PS5, you might be in luck. Sony says it can now reach goal of 22 million PS5s without shortages. This is over by Joe Skrebels at IGN. Sony says it has secured enough components to hit its goal of selling over 22 million PS5s by the end of its current fiscal year, despite an ongoing global semiconductor shortage. This is, speaking during an earnings call webcast, Sony CFO Hiroki Totoki explained that the company had taken various measures in order to secure semiconductors and has seemingly been successful. So that's a lot of fucking PS5s. So if you're in the market for one and you want one, you just gotta get yourself set up. On the last episode, I was talking about how I'm literally seeing I'm seeing Xbox Series on Best Buy just like regularly. Like people aren't even like posting like, hey, go over to Best Buy now. The web, they're available on the website right now. Like I was just curious and I checked and they were on there. They're going down in price and through who are those fuckers? Through scalpers. The scalpers are charging less for them, which, means they're only going to keep getting less and less and less. So, yeah, if you're in the market for one of these bad boys, I recommend... Do I recommend getting a PS5 now? Jay? Do I recommend getting a PS5 now? I would recommend getting one if always number one if you can afford it. B, if you are working with a PS4. If you got like a PS4 and a PC, just wait. Just wait, Spider-Man will be there for you, Demon Souls will be there for you, Returnal will be there for you, Ratchet and Clank, they'll both be there for you when you can inevitably get one. But I mean, unless you are a diehard Souls fan, I don't think there's really any game that like is a console seller for the machine yet. Now, when Horizon comes out and God of War and Gran Turismo 7, that might be a different, that'll be a different day to talk. But if you got like or even an Xbox like One X, something that can do 60 games at 60 FPS with a higher resolution, I don't think you really need to wait or you really need the PS5. There's a lot of really cool things with it, but the only people who I would say should get a PS5 are people who A, can really afford it, B, really fucking want one, and C, are coming from just straight up a PS4. So they need the upgrade more than anyone else.
How much are PS4 Pros now?
They're still $400, I think. They haven't gotten a price dip. So you could get a PS5 Slim for the same price as a PS4, which is fucking hilarious. That's actually the number one thing. That's minus A. That's going back negative letters. I don't know if that's a thing. Do not just settle for a PS4 or an Xbox One. They are so demonstrably underpowered. It is hilarious at this stage in time. So yeah, do not buy one of those consoles. And then our final story here is a very exciting one. This is over at VGC by my dude Andy Robinson. He posted this morning. GTA parent company Take-Two says it's working on 3 unannounced remasters. The publisher confirmed in development titles in an investor presentation published this week, which lists 3 unannounced new iterations of previously released titles. These projects are listed alongside the upcoming PS5 and Xbox Series X/X versions of GTA 5 and Kerbal Space Program, as well as planned standalones for GTA Online. Take-Two has openly discussed its intention to continue creating remasters, of its past titles. In March, the company CEO Strauss Zelnick discussed its strategy in this area and suggested that it wasn't interested in releasing simple ports. Mafia Trilogy, a collection of remasters and a remake, was released in May 2020, and Rockstar is currently gearing up to bring a remaster version of GTA 5 to PS5 and Xbox Series XS in the second half of the calendar of 2021. Speaking during the Morgan Stanley Technology, Media, and Telecom Conference, that's a fucking mouthful, Zelnick was asked how he felt about remasters potentially becoming a bigger part of the company's strategy going forward. And he said, in quote, "I'm not sure there will be a bigger part of the strategy." He responded, "Remastering has always been a part of the strategy. We've done differently than the competition. We don't just port titles over. We actually take the time to do the very best job we can making the titles different for the new release, for the new technology that we're launching it on. So we improve the technology, we upgrade the visuals, and we make the performance enhancements. And that's why I think our remastered titles typically do so well." Jay, now, before I get your hypes up, Andy Robinson, I follow him on Twitter, he, posted a link to this article, and then he replied to it. I'm not going to pull it up. I'll just say it because I remembered it so vividly. He said, "And yes, this most certainly relates to more Rockstar games. Like more Rockstar games being ported." Jay.
Hope Red Dead Redemption finally comes to the fucking PC, dude.
That would be awesome. I want Bully. My brother is literally sitting in the room right next to me playing Bully. I want Bully in 4K, 60 FPS, baby. Ray tracing. And with the way that they keep talking about GTA 5 like it's going to be this big upgrade. Do you see? Because I joked with our E3 predictions that, this wasn't one of my predictions, but one of my jokes was that at 2K Showcase, which was not a game showcase at all, they were going to show GTA 5 running in the same engine as Red Dead Redemption 2. And like that's just a ridiculous, dumb idea. But I'm thinking, Jay, the way they're talking about, where's the quote he says? "So we improve the technology, we upgrade the visuals, we make the performance enhancements, and that's why we think it's our remasters typically do so well. We don't just port titles over. We actually take the time to do the very best job we can, making the title different from the new release for the new technology that we're launching it on." Now, they're not going to do the Red Dead 2 thing that I said. That would be an insane amount of work. But they're going to do it in the sense of like, think of the port from the PS3 and Xbox 360 to the PS4 and the Xbox One. Like, remember when you first saw the city at night when it was raining and like they had the puddles on the ground and you could see like the rain hitting the ground and the way the lights were just reflecting all, it was ray tracing before ray tracing. Like I feel like it's going to be some shit like that, but I don't really know what we're going to see.
If it's 3 games, it could either be the original trilogy of GTA games, like 3 Vice City and San Andreas.
Okay, that's what I thought you meant.
All optimized, or we could just be getting enhanced versions of like Red Dead 1, GTA 4.
Yeah.
GTA 4 is a game they haven't touched.
No. God.
It's a better game than GTA 5 if anyone out there hasn't played GTA 4.
Could you imagine San Andreas running in like a GTA 5 style, Red Dead style engine? I can't, because I feel like that is way too big. That game.
It is. That's why I mean, like, they just update it. Like, it's not like you can get all the voice actors again.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
I
all
mean,
that shit.
clean up the audio. They
Right.
were very well established by then, to where the point to where they were recording the audio in studios and shit. Like, it's not like Metal Gear Solid 1 to where they recorded it in one of the guy's apartments. It's they recorded in a studio, so you could clean up the audio and you can modernize it for sure. That would honestly be the best case, but now that I think about it, they might not do that because look at what they did with Mafia. That was the hardest part about the Mafia 1 remake was that they recast the voice actors. Like my brother straight up couldn't play the game. He couldn't take Paulie's voice. He couldn't take the new voice actor. But yeah, I'm curious. How do you feel about all of these remakes and remasters in this new like just high end remakes and remasters, not just ports, but like Final Fantasy VII remake, Mafia remake, Tony Hawk's, Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake, Resident Evil remake. I didn't put it in the news
All right.
story. I didn't put it in the news story, but Dead Space 2 remake is rumored for 2022, rumored for next year. So how do you feel about all these games? Because personally, I'm just going to put it right out there. I'm loving it. When they're doing it with games that I love, I'm loving it. I mean,
I like it because if it's a good game, it doesn't need like my Tony Hawk, for example. You don't need to change the formula. If it was good then, it should be good now, right? And especially when they like make it look beautiful and then they add new stuff to it and quality of life. Like Tony Hawk, yeah, they use the same maps and the same tricks, but reverts and stuff. Like they added good stuff to it and took shitty parts out. And as long as they're true to the original, I'm all for it. Like, there's a whole like, all right, listen to this. We were in the car with Lady Ham's little brother, and I was like, let's put on the oldies station, and we put it on. It was like Metro Station from 2008, and he's like, and he goes like, this is old music, and I'm like, old music. He's like, it's like I was born in 2012. And so, like, there's a whole generation of gamers that didn't get to play good games because everything now is just kind of like rehash the same stuff. And like, I know like some people may be like, oh, it's lazy. Well, it's kind of like that could be like a studio's best work. Like, and a whole nother generation needs to see that, I guess.
I mean,
Like
the whole lazy argument, I could see the lazy argument if, say, from this point on, Rockstar only started remaking. Like, Rockstar themselves only started remaking GTA games. Whereas Bluepoint, they are a studio that exclusively makes remakes. Their whole, like, that's what they do. Shadows of the Colossus, Demon Souls recently, Metal Gear Solid's their next rumor. They remastered the original trilogy of Metal Gear Solid back in the day. So, I don't know. I'm not going to call them lazy. They do amazing work. They do incredible work. What you said was, remaining, true and honest to the original vision of the game. And that's my whole thing is, you can change the game however the fuck you want, as long as
they're making it,
as long as it's true and honest to the original, like Resident Evil 2 remake. Holy shit, that is a good game. And to say Capcom's lazy after, fuck no, they did great work there.
Back in '99, let's just say use Resident Evil 2 as an example. If they could have made the Resident Evil 2 remake, they would have made it.
For sure.
But technology back then, you just couldn't, like Mafia 1. You ever go back and watch footage of like the original Mafia game? It's fucking terrible. But that's what they had to work with. And
that's
like this game. Right, but I mean like it means they get to remake the game and be like, oh, we get to do this. Like this is exactly what we envisioned in our head. Instead of oh, we can only fit 8 polygons on this dude's face. Now, like, Franklin in GTA 5 has like 600 million polygons in his face.
Yeah, you can see him frown and his eyes get all, huh? What? Yeah, it's very cool. And that's also why, the whole meme of like, like look at how many games Rockstar put out, like in the same time period as they put out like, just like GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption. And it's like, yeah, look at GTA 3 compared to Red Dead Redemption 2. Look at those two games in any way you want. Graphically, scale, quality, like any way, shape, or form you want to look at those games. And one is superiorly better than the other. And it's not necessarily because, like GTA 3 was made poorly. Like, no, GTA 3 probably had like a $70 million budget. It probably took that team fucking 5-6 years to make that game. But the technology was different back then. And things were, because of the pixel count,
Cheaper.
because of the pixel count and because of the size and the way games are made, it was easier to make things bigger because they looked that way. Like, like look at Arma. Like Arma is a massive game. It looks fine, but like, if Bohemia shrunk that game down to a linear, shooter, like it would look fucking gorgeous. That's just how, games work. But enough with remasters. We are going to get into a closing topic, but before that, it's that hour mark, so we are taking a quick little break here. I'm going to step off and smoke a cigarette and go to the bathroom. Jay is going to do whatever he does in the meantime, so we will be right back with our closing topic, and I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to say, I got a question for you. We'll be right back. We are back. We are back with our closing topic. We normally like to end with a topic that gives you more insight to who we are as gamers. For the first few episodes, we were doing, top 5 lists, like, favorite games of all time, the best, like ranking all the consoles of our lifetime. Last week I introduced this new idea where it was like a versus mode where I would pitch a game and Jay would have to think of a game of a similar genre and counteract it, and then he would think of a game and I would have to think of a game that counteract it. Like an example is like, I said Metal Gear was the best stealth game of all time, and he was foolish enough to pitch Splinter Cell. And this week I just have a simple little question here for Jay, a little thought. This year, we're getting some of the biggest FPS franchises of all time coming to compete against each other. We're getting the Left 4 Dead spiritual successor, Back 4 Blood. We're getting Halo Infinite. We're getting Battlefield 2042. We can only assume we're getting Call of Duty. Some, shorter titles. We're getting Deathloop, the new Arcane Studio game, in September. And Jay, when you think of an FPS game, and when you think of the multiplayer of an FPS game, what makes a good FPS game? What do you look for in a multiplayer shooter?
3 things: gunplay, movement, map layout.
All right. Want to expand on those at all, or just
Well, all right. So the gunplay has got to be good. You get like, I hate playing games. Let's see an example.
like tightness versus floatiness? Like you like the
No.
tightness? No.
No, like if you ever played a game and you just don't feel like you can't feel, even if you have a hit marker, you don't feel it. Yeah, like, for example, the game that's not like a competitive shooter, but like Borderlands. Sometimes you don't like that gun's like,
You just see
and
the
it just,
numbers spouting, and it's
yeah,
just
you just don't feel it.
waiting for that
But
health
like,
line to go down.
but like the newest Modern Warfare game, when you have a Car 98 and you shoot someone in the face, you feel it. It's just like a feeling that you get. Or same with like Battlefield, for example. Like you're just getting feedback, you know, and like with the recoil and the vibration or whatever you're doing, whatever you're playing it on, it's just like the guns got to feel good. That new X Defiant game, like it just looks so dumb. Like there's no gun sway. It's just like locked, and it just looks stupid. I think in a AAA shooter, Call of Duty Modern Warfare's got some of the best gunplay. The right amount of like realistic flow with the guns, but arcade, not too Tarkov. Like, games I like to play personally,
Yeah.
the gunplay, you feel like you got a gun in your hand. There's weight with your movement, and that goes right into the movement. I prefer slower movement shooters, but like if I'm playing Battlefield, like Battlefield's always had the best movement, good traversal, like nothing clunky or any bullshit. Like I like Battlefield when you jump and you mantle over something, you're fucking mantling over it. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts.
Grab up and you fucking climb.
Yeah, yeah. Like and like the traversal is just so nice. And for me, they also have like the inertia down as well. Inertia is a big part of it, so you feel like you're moving, not just PUBG where you press auto run and it's just like and like the screen's just going.
Yeah.
Like Battlefield 5, it may have been like a poopy game, but like it visually looked amazing and felt like amazing. So like and like when you just like I like when you move up against stuff, like you
sure.
react and everything. And then map layout. Call of Duty World War II is a prime example of terrible map layout, strictly for competitive gaming. Like just 3 lanes every time. No. I want a game like Battlefield, I think, has great map design and great map layout. They got a large variety and levelization. Or like, I'll even say like for Tarkov, map layout, just the immersion is everything, and the movement and the gunplay. This is all biased to me. Some people might be like, it's got to have solid game modes, and you have to be able to quick scope or something like that. Like, I like the core 3, maps, gunplay, and movement. For sure.
All right, very well said. I'm trying to think. Like I don't really know if I have a core 3. Like I know I like my game to have a really good good multiplayer suite. Like that's one thing I give Call of Duty and Halo a lot of credit and props for, is that there's not just the one mode. Like in
Yeah.
Battlefield, for me, it was basically always Conquest or whatever, the big mode is. Which has me really excited for 2042, because it sounds like they're going to have a big suite of modes. It sounds like they're going to have Conquest, they're going to have this new Hazard Zone mode, All Out War, and then they're going to have portals to where you can create your own modes. Like all of that, I think sounds really good.
It's gonna straight up be like Forge mode in Halo
Yeah.
3.
Well, like
They'll
that's
change the game.
and then Halo. Halo, they have, classic TDM, classic capture the flag, but it's all feels so good. And then another thing I can think of is balance. Like that's one of my big problems with Back for Blood, is the balance of items and gear in the map. Is like I felt like every weapon I was picking up was I first of all, I either got my weapon like on the second level and I just used that the whole time because it was fine, or I picked up the weapon that my teammate just dropped. Like there's maybe 1 or 2 guns and like some equipment like scattered around a map that you can go and find. And when you have a team of 4 people, 4 online people that are all competing, that doesn't work too well. I thought Borderlands, that was one thing that they actually did really well in the most recent one, was balancing of gear and enemies. And then yeah, I agree. You know, maps are really important. Like the really good thing about Battlefield's map design is that a lot of those maps essentially have two or three Call of Duty maps inside of them. Like, you know, Call of Duty, they'll have some desert town in Afghanistan or some shit like that. Whereas, you know, that'll just be a section of a Battlefield map that you can go to. I think sound design is really important. Like Battlefield, we've been praising Battlefield a lot here, but I think there's no question that Battlefield has the best sound design
Real quick.
with guns.
Real quick. Have you ever just gone into a Battlefield lobby and been the only one in there?
Plenty.
Huh?
I said plenty.
It's dead quiet.
Yeah.
And I explained that like back in the day. I'm like, this is crazy how like all of this going on. In Call of Duty, they'd be playing that in the background, but this is all organic sound.
Yeah.
Oh, so
yeah,
good.
like the artillery going off and everything. Yeah, that's your boy in the background popping that off. And I wanna feel like this is one that's kind of hard to explain, and I think even harder to accomplish. But even if I suck, I want to feel like I'm doing well, or like I want to still have fun. And I think that's just from an art design and from an aesthetic kind of thing. Like Fortnite, like, you know, I was huge in Fortnite, and when the Battle Royale first came out, I think season 2, like right after the city was introduced, the big city in the middle. Like right after that was introduced was when I started to fall out. But yeah, even sucking at Fortnite, I had a great time. And I think it was because of, like, you know, it was just that multiplayer experience. And I think the color palette and the design had a lot to do with it. And I think Halo's a similar thing, you know, the classic red versus blue, like, you know, just the design of that whole game, I think, is really aesthetically pleasing. And sticking with Halo, my final thing I would say is physics. The physics in games, I think, or multiplayer games, I think, can like really make or break your game. Like in Halo, you know, there's countless lists and the fucking crazy things people do. Like, you know, like when you're running, you drop the grenade or you throw the grenade at your foot so that you essentially kick it. And it, you know, goes launching. Or you see people in the Halo Infinite flight test where you get the grappling hook and like they fucking throw a grenade over at a gun that's far away from them. It blows the gun up. The blast shoots the gun in the air. They use the grappling hook, shoot the gun, catch it, pull it in, and now they have the gun and start fucking going ham with it. Like, you know, crazy ass physics like that, I love. Battlefield's always been really good with those, just in the sense of like artillery and destruction. I've always really enjoyed their physics. I think that's one place where Call of Duty has always lacked. And I don't know if they'll ever do really well, where Call of Duty, I feel like feels and like plays the best. Like, you know, just that tight movement, like, you know, like I've just specifically like the control layout. Like, you know, L3 sprint, B crouch, R3 melee, A jump, X reload, triangle switch weapons. Like, you know, I don't know why every first person shooter doesn't just copy those controls. I feel like all the time they're trying.
Battlefield does.
Battlefield's a little different, aren't they?
No.
Yeah, no, I guess not. Well, they're a little different in the sense of like in Call of Duty, like RB is your grenade and LB is like your smoke, where in like Battlefield your RB is your explosive and then LB is like commands. but then in Battlefield you have like dynamite and like an RPG and like shit like that on the D-pad. So yeah, I feel like physics are really, really, really important to a game. Like I mean, just watching some of the shit people do in Halo is like, it's why I want to play Halo now. I'm gonna be terrible at it, but I'm excited to hop in. What else? What else do you want to see out of an FPS? What makes a good FPS for you?
For me personally,
Yeah,
or
if you
in
got
general,
any final, huh?
like personally, or like what do I personally
Yeah,
like
what do
to
you
see?
want from an FPS? What do you
Low,
think makes a good FPS?
low time to kill.
For sure. Hell yeah.
Because low time to kill gets rid of a meta of guns with stats because every bullet kills you.
Hell yeah, for sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I've been playing 0 Hour, dude. Every gun does the same fucking damage. It hits you, and you get shot because you're a human, and then you die. Or like Insurgency Sandstorm, you poke your head out and get deleted. Don't get mad. Someone just shot you in the face. What else? What would happen? Like burst into a room and Insurgency Sandstorm and rip a shotgun at a guy, and he's just gonna freaking explode because that's what
See,
happens.
that's a problem that I think Battlefield still has.
It's spongy, but just play hardcore, and
For
then
sure.
that's the thing. Like they have hardcore mode for that reason, dude. I get stacking dudes up because they're just dropping like flies. Like I'll never forget playing Hell Let Loose, and I was a machine gunner, an American machine gunner, and we were playing this mode where we had to like defend this house. And I went upstairs and I put that machine gun in the window, and the enemy team started coming in like groups, like waves of like 20 dudes because it's 50v50. And I remember being in this window and my buddy just marking them out so I know where they are, just dropping them like flies. Like literally dropping it like dudes like nothing. And ended up getting like 120 kills that match
Jesus Christ.
because it's like an hour and a half long game mode. So like I just like that because it gets rid of like what gun's better. It's just like more of how it handles for you. Other than Warzone, it's like every update, it's like, oh, this gun's the meta now with these attachments and like,
Yeah.
and it's like, dude, it's an AK-47.
See, that's my
It's gonna pack a wall up and it's gonna kick.
that's my going back for Blood. That's my concern with the card system is that like yeah, at first, like the first few days, it'll feel like, you're making like, your own unique character, but then I could totally see IGN posting an article being like, here's the ideal card system. Like if you have these cards in your deck when you go out, you'll fucking rage. And then it'll ultimately just become, get those cards and then you're that character. So yeah, again, that brings me back to balance. My final note will be scale. I because I'm thinking back and like I do really like some of the smaller, like I liked Overwatch. I can't play Overwatch anymore until Blizzard fixes their shit. But like Halo was mad. Like Halo, some of those team battles were fucking huge back in the day. Battlefield is huge. Like that was always my argument between Call of Duty and Battlefield is like you said, it's all real, it's all authentic, the planes going at it above you, those are your teammate and the enemies. Like all of that is
Dude, I just love running up like when a match starts and you're you like get in a helicopter, right? Your helicopter's coming in, and then it's quiet still, and then it just starts taking off. You're taking fire, and you jump out. You hit the ground, and all of a sudden, like a jet, like right over your head, and like explosions and freaking just bullets zipping past your head, and you just feel and oh my gosh, dude, it's like a
My f-
set piece every
yeah,
time.
it like Battlefield always starts with that one shot. Like when you run when you're on foot and you're like playing Conquest and everyone is sprinting for that first flag to capture. And you get there and you dive and you lay there flat and you hear that tick 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 tick. Looking at it beat, you're looking for the next closest one, and then as you're sprinting there, you just hear the one and then all of a sudden it's goom 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 just all around you explosions. Like it just takes
Dude,
that one
it's
shot
like
for everyone to be like, where?
it's like Operation Locker. As soon as you make it to the middle, it's a meat grinder, and it's so loud. Oh
So
my
yeah,
god.
for me, I guess if we're doing a small scale, I like, yeah, good mechanics with, great physics and balancing. And then on a large scale, I want you to use that term. I want you to be able to say this is large scale and show me what your large scale is, because that could be a lot of things, and I think Battlefield still to this day just nails it. Like I am like, oh, I'm so excited. You get a grappling hook in 2042 and a wingsuit and shit. Oh my god, it's gonna be so fucking epic. Crossplay,
Give it
cross
to me.
progression. I cannot wait for it. But Jay, is that all we got to say here?
I think so. I can't really think of anything. Personally, I think class-based shooters are dumb, and character-based shooters are dumb. I like games like Halo or some of the games I play. Like, all right, Zero Hour, for example. It's just like Rainbow Six Siege, except guess what? You're just some dude on a SWAT team facing some cracked out terrorist in some like torture dungeon under a cafe,
For sure.
and you just got a gun, and everyone's on the same playing field. There's no like buffs. It's not like Rainbow Six Siege where like, oh, I bought this character that freaking turns invisible and climbs on the walls or some stupid shit. Like, I don't know. All I
Yeah,
know is
that's a
Blackbeard and Fuse, dude. Fuse is my dude.
that's a problem that Overwatch has had for years. Is they just
And then they just keep
every
balancing them and
every
rebalancing,
month
and
they nerf this guy and buff this girl and then buff this girl and then nerf this guy and then
it's so dumb.
every
It's
week
just like
I feel like they were doing it almost on purpose so that people can't learn a fucking character and get good with it. Like that's why I stopped playing. By the time I
dude.
finally learned, like, I don't know, Winston, for instance, or some shit, by the time I finally learned Winston and like timed everything out perfectly, because those games are all about timing, they extended the time of his shield, but then also extended the time for it to come back, for it to reload, and then they dropped his melee weapon down to like fucking 0 damage. So I'm like completely like lost on how I'm supposed to play this fucking character.
Yeah, see, that's what I hate. Remember SOCOM? You were just like a Navy SEAL. And then here's your gun. You put what you want on it and take your gear, and then that's it. Everyone moves the same. Everyone does the same stuff.
Just give it to us,
And
Sony. I don't know what you're doing, man. I don't know what you're doing. You're talking about getting into first person shooters. You need multiplayer. You need a big multiplayer suite. You fucking got one.
dude,
Like it's so
make
frustrating.
SOCOM first person shooter. I don't make it both.
I'm totally fine with it. I'm totally fine with it being a first person shooter.
Yeah,
I'm
me
fine.
too.
I mean, Sony loves their third person, so I wouldn't be surprised if they stick with third person. But I would love a third. I mean, I want to see a first party for Sony game in first person. There aren't any. Like there aren't any. Like I want to see like one of those narratives driven stories with those insane fucking graphics and insane fidelity and insane detail in first person. Like, oh my god, dude. If fucking you were playing SOCOM in fucking first person on a PS5, you could see like the thread count on the dude's baklava or some shit.
It'd be photorealistic, dude.
I want it so badly, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. Sony, I mean, we know they're working on a lot. They've talked about how they have 22 projects in the pipeline. A lot of them are, or I think they said half
Dude,
of
just
them
bring
are
back
old
Siphon
titles.
Filter. All right.
I don't know. Siphon Filters are right. That was them trying to combat with Metal Gear, and anything
I
that
just
tries
want
to
'em-
combat
I
with
just-
Metal Gear will
I
never
just
do.
want to like tase dudes and light them on fire.
Then have BioWare bring back Alpha Protocol.
Psh.
But that's it. That's the end of episode 18. Can you believe it, Jay? 18 episodes already.
That's wild.
Yeah. We got to figure out something to do big for episode number 20. But
We
this
need to figure
is...
out a name.
Yeah, we've just been calling it Punk with a Controller. I didn't want to call it the... I remember we were going to call it the Punk with a Controller cast, but that came out to P-Whackin'. Or no, Punk with a Controller... I can't remember what it was, but something about P-Whackin', and I don't want to do that. But yeah, we'll be back next week, hopefully back on schedule. This, again, since is normally uploaded on YouTube today, will be uploaded on Tuesday, which coincidentally is when we are finally cracking the lid on what the fuck is going on over at Blue Box Games. That's when the abandoned trailer app, real-time experience, whatever the fuck you want to call it, lifts. That's Tuesday the 10th. That's
What
when
time?
I don't know. I mean, I have it downloaded and installed right now, so shit, maybe midnight Monday. I'll stay up till midnight Monday and I'll try recording that live. But like I said earlier, we're not going anywhere. Well, we are going to go. I'm going to go and take a dab and smoke a cigarette. But when I get back, we are starting our official Halo playthrough. We're starting with Halo Combat Evolved. Very first Halo game right from the top. I am very excited. But like I said, this will be uploaded over to youtube.com/punkwithacontroller. That's not it because we're not partnered yet, so we don't have a name like that. So just search Punk with a Controller in YouTube. That's where you'll find our channel. This is our 18th episode. Go check out all 17. Hit the notification bell. Follow us on all social medias right down there and let us know what you like, what you don't like, what do you want to see us talk about, what you want to see us play, because we do play from time to time. Go over to Jay's channel, twitch.tv/LordxHam. He plays a lot during the weekend. He played a lot yesterday. I don't know if he plans on playing any more today.
I got 5 guys on the way.
He is not playing any more today, so you can check him out
I'm
next
gonna
week.
eat a burger and watch P play Halo. So
Fuck yeah. All right. So we will talk to you guys soon. Stick around. Like I said, I'm just going to 10-minute break. I'm going to go to the bathroom, smoke a cigarette, and take a dab. We'll be back then. Peace.